Hey y'all, it's Latanya. Welcome back to my channel, and we're going to jump right into this video. This is a client who has scar and alopecia, and you'll see I did blur her out, so you'll notice she's blurred out in the video. That's for privacy reasons. But we're going to do a glueless lace closure, so and weave install. I'm going to start the video off regular, and then you'll notice the video, it'll speed up when I'm doing the actual sew-in process with the wefts, just to save on time because I didn't want this video to be dragged out. But this is her hair right before I get ready to shampoo and deep condition it. And then you will notice once I shampoo and deep condition, you'll see that the hair is ready to be braided up, because you cannot braid up hair that's dry, not moisturized, not deep conditioned. So we're going to get into that process off camera. And this is it once it has been shampooed, deep conditioned, products applied. Now the hair is nice and soft, ready to be braided up. I sectioned it off because it was blow dried. I blow dry in sections, so that's why you see the hair section off. So I'm about to begin the braiding process. And also, if you have scar and alopecia, do not, and I repeat, do not go get those steroid injections in your scalp. And I even told her, do not let the dermatologist do the steroid injections. From past experience with other clients who got it, their hair and scalp ended up in worse condition than before. So do not get the steroid injections. Natural remedies are always the best remedies. Just like I was telling her, I have clients who had scar and alopecia and was told their hair wasn't going to come back, but they came in, got natural remedy hair treatments from me, and guess what? Some of the hair started sprouting back, hair that had been gone for years. So it's always a natural way to do something. Don't mess with the steroid injections. So here I'm braiding the hair. I'm starting off braiding the hair. I'm braiding the first braid. And I did add braid hair to the first braid to anchor because the hair was thinner on the front. But anytime I'm braiding, I do not put a lot of tension on the braids, especially when someone has alopecia. That's the last thing you want to do, is add extra tension. So you will notice when I braid this braid, I leave this braid out by itself. I do not connect it with the other braids. So I'm about to braid everything else. I save that braid for last, and then I come back to it right before I get ready to sew the closure down. And you'll hear me talk and pause throughout the video because I don't want to just keep talking about me braiding, and you already see this, the process of me braiding everything up. So what I do is I always get my lace closure to measure it off to see how many braids I have to do for the length of the size of the closure that I'm using, because you want that closure to lay flat. So if you're using like a 5x5 closure, you want to do at least 6 braids down to each side, so that closure could be flat. Because if you don't do enough braids and then you start going around in a circle or however you braid, then you will notice bulk towards the end of that closure, and you do not want that. But I braid everything light-handed because, like I said, when someone has scar and alopecia, even if they don't have scar and alopecia, you do not want to braid too tight because you do not want to pull at the hair follicles. So I just braid everything light-handed. Like sometimes my clients tell me they don't even feel me braiding. The ones who have any type of hair loss, they was like, did you start braiding yet? Because I don't even feel like, I'm like, yes, I'm braiding. It's not going to be tight. And the sew-ins be secure. Like they could still wear the sew-in up to 3 months without it even having to be braided tight. Because like I said, you do not want to put all that tension on someone's follicles that have any type of hair loss issue. And even if they don't have a hair loss issue, you still don't want to put all that tension when you're doing the braids. It's also a good idea to get like your blood drawn so you could check for like different deficiencies such as like vitamin D. And that was also the situation with this client. Her vitamin D was low. She did get on vitamin D supplements. So that was her situation, her iron levels and everything. I think she said it was kind of borderline. But you still want to get your labs drawn because sometimes it's a lot of internal stuff that's going on. And not to mention, if you notice any type of thinning in your crown area or you feel like your scalp is on fire, that's also a sign of onset alopecia. So you want to jump on that like ASAP. As soon as you notice any type of burning, itching sensation in a crown area, if you notice like, or it'll start off probably like a dime size spot. And if you notice any type of area that is spreading or any type of spot, because I always tell people, part your hair, look through your hair, because sometimes people come, they get their hair done, and the stylists do their hair, and you can't always depend on every stylist. Me, I'm gonna look at my clients hair. I'm gonna go through it with a comb, and I'm gonna look through everything. But some stylists don't do that. Some stylists just about the hairstyle. They really not about taking care of people's hair. So you have to sometimes do stuff on your own, meaning it's your hair, it's your scalp. Take a comb, use a three-way mirror if you have to, and go through each section and look at your scalp to see if you notice any thinning, any hair loss. And like I said, if you notice a burning sensation and your hair is always itching in that one spot and it's burning in that spot also, that's like a sign that, okay, it's onset alopecia. Something's about to start happening in that area. So you might want to just start taking notice and pay attention to what's going on with your scalp. So I'm going around braiding the hair, and I'm going to braid this braid on the bottom. I'm going to bring this braid all the way up right behind the ear on the other side. Some people will stop right here where my hand is right now, and then they'll just connect the braid. I don't do that. I like to braid this all the way up behind that ear because that's going to help everything to anchor how I want it to anchor once I do the sew and weave install. So I always bring this braid all the way up right behind the ear to the other side. And when I say all the way up, this is exactly what I mean. See how I'm going all the way up right behind this ear? And I leave it like that because I'm going to connect everything when I get to the other side. So you'll see, because I speed it up, but you see how I connected everything. The video sped up, but I did connect. And then I'll do like a 360 where you can see everything. But for the sake of time, I sped the video up. Because I know sometimes y'all don't like watching these long videos, so I'm trying to keep the video under 30 minutes. So the video is sped up. And the reason why I'm doing a zigzag pattern instead of a complete circle, that also helps take tension off the hair follicles doing it this way. So this is the crown, and I didn't use no braid hair. That's her own hair. I just made like a bridge over the thinning area and connected to the hair on the other side. And this is the zigzag pattern, and that way nothing is putting tension on the follicles. So I wanted that to be gapped out a little bit. That way the scalp could be, assessed and everything like that when she's getting shampooed and everything. So that was purposely done. And see how I did the part with the braids deep? That means the closure is going to lay super flat. And the reason why I left the two connecting braids out is when she gets shampooed, when it's time to touch up that closure could always look fresh, like you got a fresh install, because those two braids are always going to get taken down, rebraided, and then sew everything back down. Now I'm sewing the closure on. And the closure went on the whole left side, so no wefts are on that side. So that way, if she want to wear that part behind her ear, she could wear it behind her ear with no problem, because the closure is on the whole left side. And I always use a weave net. To me, the weave net helps keep the new growth flat. So when they get shampooed, conditioned, everything stays nice and neat. And they could still take care of their hair the same way you would take care of your hair if you wouldn't have a weave net. Now, on certain weave installs, I don't use the net. So far as like when I do my micro sew and weave install, I don't use the net on that one, but any other type of weave install, I do use the net. Now here, I've put the flat iron on the weft because that helps to fold a weft over. That way it's easy to sew down. So I only do that when I first do my first weft, and everything else, I just fold them over. And I'm just showing how everything looks so far. The wefts are folded over, and it's blowout texture from Glam Suite. This is the natural looking hair extensions. And this is everything, how everything is looking. That's one bundle sewed on. She has two bundles. So now I'm going to sew the second bundle on. And I always just fold everything over, like I said. The only weft that I cut was the one that goes around the closure on the top. And that was it. The rest of them just fold over. So many people think that just because if they have crown area alopecia, that is hard for them. They have to just wear the wigs. No, you could get a sew and weave install. You just have to go to someone who specializes in dealing with sew and weaves installs on someone with alopecia. And this is the finished result. And this is the closure. And this is our finished result. The perfect install. And she was happy with her install. Very natural looking. And thanks for watching. And as always, subscribe, thumbs up, share this video. Leave a comment below if you found this video helpful.